Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road.
Here we go. Alex and Smooth Show. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jay Smooth. Welcome back. And you know I got to introduce the homie.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Thank you guys for checking us out. We cover current events, fight recaps, and bets when there's fights in the weekend, but we don't have any this weekend. So.
And sometimes we even have fighters in the building.
Yes, sir. And hopefully, if everything goes well, we'll have another fighter this weekend on the next episode.
We're going to try to speak this to existence. We got a fighter that we're talking to, really trying to get them into the studio here and, you know, give them the platform to shine. And honestly, this is the person to do it. Yeah,
and not only that, for any amateur fighters that are watching, and if you're in the SoCal area, we would love to have you on. You know, if you're having a fight coming up, please come on. We would like to interview you and talk about more of your experiences and your upcoming fights.
Absolutely. Amateur fighting, backyard brawls. I mean, anything. We're talking about bum fights. No, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, we really want to give you guys the platform and kind of build a relationship with you as well as with the fans. So, you know, feel free to reach out. I mean, we're an open book, and we got an extra seat here in case somebody wants to come on the show.
Yes, sir. Talk about amateur fights. Can you believe what was going on this past weekend?
It's hard to believe, but let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So obviously, everyone knows. I mean, we're already what's today? Thursday.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that Will Smith slapped the crap out of Chris Rock.
Now, do you think that was honestly real?
I do believe it was real. Just because I've never seen that on a show, and I don't think that would be appropriate to show it at a movie award show.
It's definitely a reach if, in fact, it wasn't real. But this was the kind of vibes I got. You ever, you know, back in the day, take theater class and when you punch you punch your chest a little. That was the vibe that I got from it because, one, Will Smith has trained as Muhammad Ali. So he knows how to throw a punch. Two, that wasn't a punch. It was open-handed. So maybe he's been kicking it with my boy Nate Diaz a little too much.
I don't think
in Stockton.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to punch him. I think he just wanted to slap him to like, hey, stop. But my initial reaction was like, all right, I grew up in a different era where if you talk some smack, you're going to get slapped or something's going to happen. So my initial reaction was like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, you know, you got to slap the shit out of people that talk shit. But, you know, looking back, reflecting, you know what? It's not really appropriate. He should have made of like, hey, don't be talking about her. Or, you know, I agree with the yelling. Don't fucking talk about my wife.
Yeah.
But
right,
I still can't believe it happened.
It's super tough because I'm torn on the entire spectrum. As looking at it from like a comedian type of standpoint, everybody knows I'm not a comedian, but I think I'm a funny guy. But you know, trying to be objective here, I'm looking at it from this standpoint, and it really was not that bad of a joke. Now, if in fact, like this was like,
did you know she had a condition though?
Yes. So, unfortunately, they've been in the news a lot more recently than they should have due to all the, you know, entanglements and such, right?
Yes.
So that's caused, unfortunately, a little more interest into their life. And I've watched a little bit of the Red Table Talk, which is her podcast. And, you know, I have been made aware of the alopecia, and that is hair loss disease.
Yeah.
Right. Now, let's keep it 100. If that was due to like a tumor or cancer, then I can understand where that becomes like 100% off the table. But it was not. It's hair loss, right? Like we know lots of people that suffer like a receding hairline.
Me.
I wasn't
looking at me.
I was thinking of my brother. Dude, I don't want to put him out there like that. You know, I know he doesn't watch the show.
I'm thinning,
like that.
bro. I'm getting old.
Hey, you know, but that's the thing. But like, if it was a little bit more of a hard-hitting, concrete reason, and then I can understand why the joke being off the table. But unfortunately, it's not. I mean, fortunately, it's not that scenario, right? So, like, the joke shouldn't have been took it, but, you know, like, I would love for somebody to try to talk about my wife, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just that old school mentality. Like, you don't, but it's weird because you're in that space where it's like celebrities and they're used to getting talked to.
That's the thing, man. That's what you sign up for. It doesn't make it right, doesn't make it fair, but that's part of the game.
And I feel like Brendan Schaub had a pretty good point. I feel like this was like the straw that broke the camel's back because I don't. If it was any other time, this would have been like passed over. Like it would have been nothing to think about. But with having him being on the spotlight and everyone knowing their marital situations, I felt like this was like, oh no, this is the last straw that broke the camel's back, and I'm not gonna have it anymore. I'm tired of being made fun of, I should say. And you know what? He just had enough. That's what it
totally
came across to me.
I totally get it. It's just, it's rough, man, because first of all, you know, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, his wife is the definition of toxic, okay? And for somebody that has to consistently prove his masculinity in the eyes of the public, it's quite sad. But with that being said, I honestly felt like this was fake, and it was for these reasons. One, because the Oscars had 2 back-to-back years of the lowest ratings ever, right?
Who watches them, to be honest?
Not me.
No one would have heard anything about them unless this happened.
Exactly. Now we're talking about Will Smith, who had a reboot show. The Peacock Network picked it up and rebooted the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
So of course he's in the limelight recently. He's got the new movie with King Richard. So clearly the best person to pay to create a stunt like this. Now Chris Rock, I don't know how much he's in it. He does have a comedy tour that's going on as of right now, and that caused the ticket prices to massively inflate. So let's keep it a buck here, guys. Like, I'm not trying to be a party pooper or rain on anybody's parade, but this shit seems staged, like straight out of Universal Studios.
Maybe so. It doesn't look
It's
good.
working. We're talking about it.
Exactly.
It's working.
But I just think it was funny that he posted his poster for the tour dates, Chris Rock, right after it happened. I was like,
hey, that's free publicity, boy.
yeah, because you know everyone was going on his page. You're like, dude, what's your response? Now, granted, Will Smith came out with an apology, you know, violence should never be the answer type of thing. And
Yeah, it's easy to say once right after you bitch slap somebody.
Yeah.
But, you know, Chris Rock handled it really well. If in fact this wasn't fake, and he tolerated it for as much as he should have. Now the thing is like, you don't want to promote any type of like, violence and such, but like, how much more better would it have been if Chris Rock would have fought back?
Or just kept on going with the joke?
Bro, I mean, either which way, but this is a fight podcast, so I'm trying to see some putazos on the calle. You know what I'm saying?
Now, we all saw the Will Smith versus Chris Rock in the UFC. Like, I saw, because I follow nothing but MMA pages. There was a bunch of posts for them facing off, Dana White in the background. Mac Life came out with a poster. I was like, dude.
And everybody's trying to give Chris Rock, like, oh, bro, what a hell of a chin. Like, I'm sorry, but if you get knocked out from a slap.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Like, you should be able to take that.
But
I wish somebody would try that on me.
The internet is undefeated, man. And did you see all the memes that were coming out?
I sure did. Dude.
I have one of them that we could react to because I thought it was pretty funny because we're in the MMA space. So let me show it to you really quick. So let me take off that.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Your wife is in me DMs.
Hey, baby.
Hit me back on
Your wife's in my
We'll be at the after party, the Win nightclub, baby.
Tell you what, you would have got a word out of me.
That was a greatest night in the history of television.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man. I mean,
It's a cold-blooded.
Rick James, bitch.
That was probably my favorite meme out of all of them. Just Conor McGregor, your wife's in my DMs,
It was, once again, internet's undefeated. It was literally right after this incident happened. They went and posted that. I love it, man. I'm all for it, dude.
Yeah,
all for it.
And in the same time, we also had Masvidal. Now, granted, we haven't filmed since last week.
Correct.
So there was a bunch of stuff that happened. Covington versus Masvidal, they ended up fighting in the street. Well, I should say Masvidal soccer punched Kobe Covington.
Hey, first of all, a punch was thrown. That means there's a fight, all right?
Yeah.
Second of all, Masvidal has clearly said it on camera before. He is the greatest sucker puncher of all time. There's a video of him admitting that. And
dining and dashing, too, which is, I'm like, dude, you shouldn't be putting that out there.
Hey, stop him if you can.
I know. He rolls up in a Denny's like, no, we got to get the money up front.
They're like, yeah, sir, we need to hold your debit card. But, no, honestly, dude, this is quite humorous because, I wish somebody would have caught Conor like that. I mean, the thing is, you cannot be talking about people's wives and children's, and it doesn't matter to what extent. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're saying good, sweet things about somebody's wife and children, you really honestly shouldn't be saying not a fucking thing. And Masvidal decided to catch him on la calle and give him a Is it izquierda or derecha?
I have no idea because we
I
have
think he
no
gave him
video.
the derecha.
But it was funny because it was like, dude, you and then obviously there was a lot of takes that Masvidal had 25 minutes to do something a couple weeks prior to this.
Cut
You know what I'm
the fucking
You know what I'm
crap,
saying?
dude. Because when somebody's playing grab ass, all right, look at
But
I mean, yes,
legally, yeah, you had
technically, yes, you did have the 25 minutes to do what you wanted. But I mean, to be honest with you, if I know somebody's talking about my wife or whatever, what is sweeter than just coming up and just fucking busting his fucking tooth, breaking it, and fucking chasing him down back into the restaurant? I mean, I'd go spend a night in jail for that.
Yeah, now that's our old school mentality. Like you grew up, you know. I mean, I don't know if you ever
Down
did
for
this.
mine, tell me.
You know, like you remember the Royal Rumbles in the park and all that stuff.
Yes,
like,
sir.
all right, so we're completely in a different era now. You know, we're in like this Glee era. I feel, you know, still.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
So I obviously, you know, I felt like both fighters should have been like, cool. You know, it happened. It is what it is. I want him again. But Colby Covington is pressing charges now.
He's pressing charges, and he's went absolutely silent. I mean, you can't find the man on social media. He really doesn't say much, and he pops in and he yaps, and then he pops back out. And look, this is the thing, bro. I'm from Musqueam, all right? Like,
So I'm from Sember, dude.
I just got to explain where I'm from. This is the Inland Empire's #1 MMA podcast, all right? So I'm gonna keep it 100. Everybody knows if you're from Musqueam. You just got to one-up the man. Don't press charges, bro. One-up the man.
No, I felt like that was the perfect time for him to say, you know what? I ain't pressing charges, Dana White. Give me that fight. I want to whoop his ass one more time in the octagon, right?
That or you send
me get paid
the
even more.
location, or I mean, there's just so many other ways on how to handle it. Pull out the. I mean, there's so many ways. All I'm saying, bro. All I'm saying is like that's probably the last thing that you want to do is press charges. I mean, that's the most
it's not a good
PC
look.
thing to do. Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't make you look good. And in this business, you need to look good, man.
Not only that, it doesn't look good as a fighter, like someone that like, you know, talks all that smack and that's your persona. Obviously, we all know that's an act, but I mean, you should.
You gotta kind of keep the act outside the cage too. That's where the Undertaker thrived. That's where the Big Show thrived. That's where all these guys, Conor McGregor, thrives because outside the cage they take this act and they live it. You know.
It's just, man, he has an opportunity to make way more money on a fight number 2. You know, be like, you know what, they're gonna use this footage, run it back again, and make even more money. Get some of that pay-per-view that you missed out on the first fight.
But Masvidal knows he ain't gonna win if it's an actual legal,
Well, I'm just saying for Covington,
an actual 5-round fight, 3-round fight. Covington's gonna win 10 out of 10 times.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna get way more money. The pay-per-view's there. Everyone knows that there's more of a storyline now, and run it back because
I feel like they've crossed a line now where it's like on site at all times. You know.
Yeah.
I don't think it gets better from this.
No. But Kamaru Usman had a couple words on this.
Both guys, I believe, are in the wrong. You can't just do what you want and say what you want just because you want to sell something. And I feel that's wrong. Very wrong. But also, you can't go in as an athlete, as an elite athlete. You're one of the best athletes in the world. You just can't go attacking somebody in the street. Well, of course you're going to say that. I mean, your hands are legal weapons. You know, you have to register them.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you cannot dehumanize this and just say, oh, it's a sport, or oh, because you're trained. Like, just because I trained gun shooting doesn't mean that if somebody starts shooting at my house, I can't fire back. You know what I mean? Like, oh, because I'm an elite sniper, I can't fire back. Like,
That's
come on.
totally two totally different things.
I don't know. It was a reach. But all I'm saying, bro, is you got to fight fire with fire. You can't be out here. Like, we're talking about caged animals, bro.
Well, you know what? I see them as athletes, bro. I'm just saying. But
in the cage?
Yeah, in the cage. I just feel like they missed an opportunity. Kobe Covington pressing charges. I'm like, for a Rolex watch for $15K, I'm like, dude, or for $50K or whatever it is.
I thought it was a Polex.
I'm just like, yo, it's not a good look. Get that fight again. You don't have a fight coming up. You're kind of in this weird limbo because who's getting the fight with Usman?
I believe Kamzat if he wins against Burns.
right?
I'm
So
overshooting a little.
no, Leon Edwards. He
Oh,
has
yeah,
the
you're
next
right.
fight. Yeah. So
I mean,
Leon-
I wasn't even thinking about that guy.
yeah, so they have Leon Edwards, Gilbert Burns versus Kamzat, but even Kamzat knows if like Connor steps in, he's gonna step aside. But it's like, yo, you don't have a fight coming up. You just lost twice to the champion. You won with Masvidal. That's the biggest money fight you can get right now. Go get it. You have even more of a storyline to go get that money.
Yeah, you should absolutely take advantage. I mean,
Yeah.
it's I don't want to say like that I'm completely opposed to it. I'm just saying I'm not mad that he sucker punched him in the street. I'm not mad. Everybody else can be mad. I'm really not mad, bro. I'm from
Yeah.
Musquoy. That stuff happens.
So Jake Paul went to Twitter and says, Chris Rock didn't press charges, but Kobe Covington did, LOL. Just shows how much of a pussy Kobe is. Make fighters not soft again.
This man right here takes full advantage of any opportunity he can. Which I get it. Like you're a hilarious internet entertainment sensation, whatever you want to call yourself.
I agree with them, though.
No, I totally get it. But
Yeah.
like when it's coming from Jake Paul himself, like bro, you haven't fought a real fighter. You're like,
Speaking about that, he tweeted again. He said, on Instagram, he says, August, I'm back.
against who?
Not Tyson Fury. Tommy
Oh,
Fury.
his brother.
Yeah.
Bro,
There's
nobody wanted-
rumors. It's not confirmed, but there's
Nobody
rumors.
even
that's him.
wanted to see that the first time.
That was the first official boxer that everyone wanted to see him fight, though.
right. I
With
mean,
the name and the experience.
back then, I think it's just all smoke in the air. It's a fugazi, a fugazi.
But you never know. I mean, if he's able to knock him out, then great. You know, we see him with an actual boxer.
I'm just
Great.
over the Jake Paul train.
I guess, man. I'm kind
Burnt
of
out.
getting on it right now. I'm like, yo, it's entertaining. You're getting your money's worth. And when he knocked out Tyron Woodley, I was like, what just happened?
Maybe if he was a little more active, I'd like it. But
Boxing, dude, active in boxing is like fight once a year, if you're lucky.
unless you're Canelo
Unless you're Canelo. I mean,
and you're getting 5 easy fights.
yeah. Talk about Mexican fighters, dude. This kind of I don't know if it went under the radar, but it was news this week.
Yes.
Davison Figueiredo. You want to read this?
Sure. So he goes in and on Instagram and says, I wanted to fight Brendan Moreno for the 4th time until his team crossed the line with racist comments, calling me a monkey, and even going to the extent of photoshopping a monkey's face on top of mine. And Brendan Moreno quickly responded and said, my teammate was streaming live on Instagram and he was using many filters. He was switching filters and then appears a monkey filter on Figueiredo. That's true. And somebody took a screenshot. He's not racist.
Yeah, and then they further go on.
So Davison Figueiredo continues and says, as the UFC champion of the world, I ask you to consider my wish. I wish to fight the next contender in line, Kai Kara-France, who has earned his spot. And Brendan Moreno responded, Davison is running away from me. Chances for him to lose this fight against me are very high. He sees a better opportunity versus Kara-France to keep the belt. 100.
I agree, because everyone wants to see the 4th fight. Everyone feels, maybe because I'm biased towards
super
Brandon
biased too,
Moreno.
bro.
So I'm like, I feel like he won the fight, and a lot of people also felt like he won the fight as
I
well.
feel like he's won the fight each time, man. Maybe one of the fights I will edge to Figueiredo, but that's just on some bias stuff. I'll be honest with you. I think Brandon Moreno has defeated this guy all 3 times.
And that's why he doesn't want to take the fight. And I just don't see it. Obviously, I didn't see the video, but it just does seem like he doesn't want to fight him again because he could. This is the only fight that he could lose to. Does that make sense,
100%,
you know?
100%. And to give Kai Kara-France some respect, I mean, this dude, I obviously I picked him in my parlay. I was going for him, and I think he's on a hot streak right now.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
But when it comes down to these two, Brendan Moreno and Figueiredo, they have to figure it out. They have to settle it. Who's the real champion?
Yeah, man. What do we got next?
We got Chael Sonnen. His felony battery charges were dropped by the prosecutors, so he still faces 6 misdemeanor charges stemming from the December 18th hotel incident, but that is still at this time. So who knows? Maybe those 6 misdemeanor charges will be dropped as well. Awesome to see Chael Sonnen avoiding the persecution and consequences of that day. Now, I'm not trying to encourage any behavior or anything like that. I really don't know too much about what happened. All I heard is that he was taking on like 6 people at one time, and he came out unscathed. So
I was going to ask if you had heard anything, because I'm like, this,
not too much.
that didn't really break news, which was crazy. I was like not like the main
if you
page.
follow John Jones, you kind of you were you were quickly made aware of the situation. So speaking of my dog, John Jones, so my boy took to Twitter and said, "Imagine having someone at your job who couldn't hold your jockstrap, being your biggest critic. Shit was annoying, lol. It is interesting how sometimes the people who are praying for your downfall and wishing bad on you end up receiving everything they wished on you." So my boy John immediately took the low road and immediately responded and said, "Hey man, like guess what? All the shit that you talk bad about me, you are now going through it." He even went even further and said, my candle for the light heavyweight blew out. It showed in my last fight. Oh, excuse me. We're getting a little further ahead. Yeah. But I'll read that in a moment. But let's continue on this Chael Sonnen and John Jones beef. It's quite funny to me because both men are trying to belittle each other and put each other down, but both men are definitely in the wrong each time. And I think we should now approach a little bit more of a high road because John Jones is trying to do better. Chael Sonnen is trying to do better. These men are not trying to live in that.
With the Chael Sonnen thing, from my understanding, it happened inside a hotel in Las Vegas. Where are all the cameras? I feel like this would have been settled very easy. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, hold on. I saw a little bit of a video of him getting pulled out and like a woman behind him. I don't really know too much, man. I don't know if it's a domestic violence situation. That's why I really don't want to get too far into it.
But he wasn't fighting a woman. Apparently he was fighting a couple guys, right?
6, from what I heard.
Okay.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, it just seems like Vegas tends to be a bad place for fighters. And if you're not there on fight week, you just got to get out of there.
It just doesn't fit with his I guess for how long Chael's been in MMA, and we followed his career. This is the first time this happens, and other than the Vanderlei Silva fight that they got during the Ultimate Fighter, right?
True, but we can't dilute this man. He was the biggest shit talker in the UFC that they've ever seen for the longest time.
But it was also more pro wrestling shit, and he never went after someone's family, I feel.
But I mean, he's shown over time that he's going to continue to defend his honor, and who knows where that line crosses, right? Like nobody knows what line that is until it's getting pushed, you know? I don't know what my line is, but I really wish somebody wouldn't try to find out.
Yeah, I wish you would, man. I wish you would.
Right?
All right.
So to go a little further into John Jones and hopefully his return soon, he speaks to Twitter and says, my candle for light heavyweight blew out. It showed in my last fight. Instead of being discouraged by a bad performance, I'm stoked about this new season. New energy. My time at light heavyweight was over. I see that more clear today than ever.
Now, last few episodes, I feel like John Jones was set to fight this summer. Is that still the case? Like, or is this getting pushed back even more? Nah,
bro. I will have turned 30, become a father, and probably find another job before John Jones comes back and fights. I really don't see that happening anytime soon. I think the timetable is definitely going to be 2023, and that's if he even fights again. Although I'm a John Jones guy, I really don't think he fights again in the octagon.
Really? I think. Watch this. Interim heavyweight title, because Francis Ngannou is going to be out for a while. They're already talking about creating an interim title. Him versus Curtis Blaydes.
I think it all sounds fine and dandy. I just have a little bit of PTSD when it comes down to John Jones making a deal with Dana White. Let's not forget how difficult it really is to get John Jones into the cage. Then we got the USADA testing that comes into play. He's got to get past that because he has those fluctuating
residuals, yes.
Stuff. Lastly, I think it's really hard to get John Jones into the cage unless it's for something that's worth it. Now, it's got to be a Ngannou. It's got to be a Stipe Miocic. It's got to be somebody who's at the top of the division.
Yeah.
Curtis Blaydes may be that guy, but I just don't think he's that guy.
Him versus Stipe, maybe for the interim.
Maybe a tie to
heavyweight title?
Avasa. I think a tie to Avasa might be that
that
guy.
would be fun. But he's not. He's climbing the ranks still. He's not. I don't think he's going to be fighting
That's what
for
I'm
a belt
saying.
yet.
John Jones got a lot of time before he comes back, at least in my opinion. I don't think he's coming back for a hot minute.
Really? Shoot.
So that gives Ty time to climb to the top, and boom.
That would be exciting.
Well,
Dude,
either way, I
that
would love
sell
for
a lot
John
of-
Jones to come back and get that belt. That would be a dream come true.
Yeah, man. Talk about a veteran in the sport who just got released. This is some news that just got dropped today. UFC releases Ben Rothwell. He's been in the sport for, 12 years?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And not only that, they released him while he had a fight actually set up. So he was supposed to fight Alexander Gustafsson in May, if I'm not mistaken. And they canceled the fight and released him. And there's unknown information as to why at this time.
Are we discovering this on the show as we're talking? Alexander Gustafsson rematches John Jones in the heavyweight division for the interim belt. Bro, did we just crack the code here?
I'd love it.
Dude, everyone knows their storyline. It was their first fight was one of the greatest light heavyweight fights, in the UFC. And I think it also went to like the Hall of Fame, right?
Yes.
MMA. So if you're going to have John Jones come back, fight for a belt, granted this doesn't make sense because there's people in the rankings waiting, but you have Alexander Gustafsson who was supposed to fight, that would only make sense. Why would they?
It would be beautiful.
I feel like I just cracked the code right on the show. I'm like, yo, what just happened?
Gustafsson's got to win a fight or two to get to the fast track.
Yeah, dude.
Like, for example,
that would be awesome.
For example, Alex Pereira accepted a fight against Sean Strickland,
Oh my god,
which is a
yes.
fucking fast track to the fucking championship.
Yes, for in that storyline, because Alex Pereira was the last guy to knock out Israel Adesanya in kickboxing.
What better way than to
And
give
that-
him that title? And I think he beat Sean Strickland. I think he beat Sean Strickland pretty quickly.
Really?
I think he beats him pretty quickly.
I'm on the opposite side. I feel like Sean Strickland is going to be a big test, kind of a
For sure.
This is
For
another
sure.
thing. If that was in what was it? Not taekwondo, kickboxing. This is MMA. This is totally different. I think Strickland
100%.
is going to be able to control distance and probably take him down.
But you're failing to take a step back and look at the picture, bro. The water flows where the path is less resistant. I truly feel he makes it to this. He makes it to the title fight through Sean Strickland. I think it's already written in stone, bro.
Yeah, but he
It's
has
already
to
written
get
in
through
stone.
him. He has to get through Strickland, and I don't
Consider
think
it done.
dude.
And I hope he's an underdog, and I'm picking that on my parlay.
I would favor Strickland on that, man. He has way more experience in MMA, specifically MMA. I'm just saying that.
I wish we had the button, the wah 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 button, because that's right now, bro. All I hear is I want Pereira versus Adesanya, and if Sean Strickland has to be the victim that gets in the way, so be it.
Oh man, I feel like we're gonna do a side bet because I think Strickland's gonna stop him and then get that title. Bro, we don't know, but we can't wait to see.
The world may never
I'm on your
know.
side, Strickland, man.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
All right, man. Let's go into some fight recaps. This was Blaydes versus Daukaus. And I mean, we don't talk about the whole event. It was great, but dude, our picks, man, our picks. I felt, you know what? I didn't see Sarah McMahon winning. That kind of threw off my whole parlay. If it wasn't for that one pick, I would have got it all.
At least the air got deflated out of your balloon a little earlier in the night.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's probably easier for you to sleep. As per se, my last fight pick did not go how I wanted it to go. I didn't say this wasn't how I expected.
yeah.
But I went, as you could tell, I went with the underdog themes. One fight, Olenek and Latifi got canceled. So it kind of helped me out there because if, who knows in that fight.
Yeah.
I was going for Olenek, another underdog. But I had a feeling, I'll be honest, I had mixed up the name Daukaus and Duplessis because in our last podcast, we got a lot more interest from the Duplessis gentleman than Daukaus. So I apologize there. I was going all in. I'm like, man, we're going to get some attention because of this Daukaus guy. And so I picked him. And, hey, it's all good. I only spent $10, and that's a valuable lesson well learned.
But we were both only one off. So, you know what? We weren't that far off. I
should have picked a straight line.
Considering how many picks I made, I was surprised I only had one off. So,
yeah, it's true.
You know what? I felt like Curtis Blaydes was going to win that fight, and he did. I didn't predict a knockout. I thought it was going to be pure wrestling. So that was a surprise to me.
I mean, he threw a nice fucking punch, bro.
Yes, man. But let's talk about the co-main event. I was so pumped to see Alexa Grasso fight. I'm super biased, obviously. You know, she fights out of Guadalajara. My family's from there. I was rooting for her and for her to get it done in the first round. And by her first submission, congratulations.
Against her toughest test to date.
Absolutely.
You know, I love saying that. First, we had Jalen Turner fresh off the biggest knockout, the toughest test to date. Hopefully, we get, someone like Alexa Grasso to come on, fresh off her, freaking biggest win. Probably a little difficult since she's in Mexico. But still, worth a try.
You can get her on Skype.
Yeah, we got options. But the crazy thing, man, was she was definitely, you could see the adversity was there. You could tell she was a little worried. She was throwing punches, and Wood was just continuing to, eat them, push through, throw her own attacks. It was definitely very competitive. But it just takes one action, one movement, one mistake, one motion to change the entire momentum of the fight. And I felt like that's what happened. You could just tell Alexa Grasso saw a way to victory. She went and flipped her down, got her to the ground, and locked in that choke.
Yeah, but right before that, they had a little, not a scramble, but they were going back and forth, and Wood landed in, I believe, an elbow that I was nervous because I was like,
I'm telling you.
It looked like she rocked her, so she had to get composed again, but it was, I'm still going for Alex, and I was like, when she got her down to the ground, got the rear submission, I'm like, that's it, it's done.
I knew it was in. Once I saw it there, I was like, it's locked in. But the cool thing about it, man, is we were rooting for her, and she was able to pass this test. It just re-solidified at least in my mind, that she is who we think she is.
Yeah, no, she's gonna be fighting, I think, one more time. I don't know who her opponent will be next, but I think if she defeats that opponent, she will get the title shot next. If not, she will get the title shot next because Valentina Shevchenko has pretty much ran through that whole division except for Alexa Grasso.
That'd be an awesome fight. I'd love to see it.
Yes, man. Me too.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, man. And then obviously for the main event, we did already kind of pre-talked about it, but yeah, Curtis Blaydes won by knockout. I really thought there was going to be more wrestling done. I don't know why they both decided to stand because they only took one punch from either fighter.
It did seem like Daukaus didn't have the power to knock out Curtis Blaydes. He was throwing punches, they were landing, but it just didn't seem too threatening.
I beg to differ. He did catch Curtis a few times. Not completely rocked him, but I saw Curtis getting worried because I was getting worried. And I was like, oh.
Definitely. I just think it in the overall aspect of it wasn't powerful enough to cause him to start shooting. It just he knew he could stand and bang with him.
Yeah, but once Curtis landed that right, and I was like, oh, I felt bad for you because I knew you needed Chris to win, right?
Yeah, once that right punch was thrown, I just felt my whole entire
you said
parlay go
there
out
goes
the window.
$500 right
Fucking
there.
out the window. I was like, no. But hey, what can you do? It's out of your control. You just kind of take it on the chin and call me Chris Rock.
Yeah, next week we'll have we'll try to do better picks the next week for the UFC. Was it 273?
Yes, sir.
So we'll
always try to do better.
Yes, we'll try to do better. I'm gonna try and probably just go for 4 picks. I feel for 4 picks, I put it 3, 4 picks. I feel like I can get that done.
It's a sweet spot.
Yes, and we have that pay-per-view is so stacked. But let's go into some fight announcements. These are some of the fights that got announced this week. And we have Teixeira versus Prochazka, right? Jiri Prochazka?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jiri Prochazka, huh?
That's going to headline UFC 275. This is for the light heavyweight championship. And I think we might see a new champion, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll see a new
Yes.
champion. Yep, I'm going Prochazka.
Yes, and on that same card, we have Shevchenko versus Santos.
Well, we already know it's and still, in my opinion.
And so it would be a complete shocker. I'm not saying, because, not saying that Santos can't get it done, but to see Shevchenko being so dominant, I'll be shocked if she lost this fight.
It would have to be a bigger upset than Juliana Pena beating Amanda.
It would have to
Nunes.
be
It would
one
have
of the
to be.
biggest ones.
Have to be.
So definitely looking forward to that one. And then I believe, did they ever fight before? Whitaker versus Vittori?
I don't think so.
This is the first time? Dang.
This is a good fight.
Yes, they're both coming off losses to Israel Adesanya, right? Vittoria's last fight was Israel Adesanya, and Whitaker just fought Izzy as well.
Yeah, Whitaker got 2 L's from Adesanya, but we don't got to go into depth. But this is definitely a good fight, man. I'm excited to see who it's the battle for the number 1, really, in that division, and I believe Whitaker can get it done.
Yeah, this will take place June 11th, and I believe this is the first event back in Singapore, if I'm not mistaken.
Shout out to my Aussies.
There we go. And this one right here, I'm going to let you say it because I don't want to mess it up. But
Yo, this is one of the biggest fights that the Alex and Smooth Show can promote right here. Drixus Duplessis versus Kelvin Gastelum on April 9th, UFC 273 in Jacksonville. I'm going Duplessis. I ain't picking against this guy no more, bro, because I swear to God, I'm not getting called a casual ever again.
The fans ripped us hard. We were like, we couldn't pronounce his name.
They're like, oh, these fucking guys are back? Let's get them. Let's get them.
But we'll go more into detail next week because this UFC 273 will take place next Saturday. So we'll cover all the fights and give you our hot takes on them.
Early pick.
You know what? Kevin Gastelum, I have to go with him, man. I don't know.
Cool. I'm going Duplessis.
Yes. I mean, their records are pretty much the same. But if I'm not mistaken, didn't Duplessis get taken off another fight from this card and got put in with Kevin Gastelum because Kevin Gastelum's previous fight fell through?
I do believe that is correct.
Right? So they were both training. So you know what? He might get it. He might get it.
I'm just hoping for the parlay.
He's not coming in on a short notice because he was also training for someone else.
Camp.
So they both have full camps. This is exciting to see. This is almost like a fast track for Duplessis as well.
Shoot, I'm all for it, man. Shout out to the Duplessis fans. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on them notifications.
Yes, and thumbs up because we got the name right this time. So, all right, man. And this will take place UFC 273 next Saturday. Excited for the main event. I am going with the champion, Volkanovski.
And still.
I just don't see Zombie taking it,
He's coming off a loss too, right?
I think so.
I mean, I don't know. To me, it's
We have to double check.
To me, it's Max Holloway's division. They're trying to avoid that fight at all costs, and I truly believe that Max Holloway is the best, and the best is blessed, baby.
And also, we're biased towards Max Holloway. So
100%.
We don't have a bunch of Aussie fans screaming, "You guys don't know nothing."
Right. And, if I ever get the chance to meet Volkanovski, I love the dude. I really like everything he has to offer. But once again, you just got your fighters, man, that you truly believe in, John Jones, Jalen Turner, Max Holloway.
He's a legend in the sport already. Max has been in so many, wars, legend in the game. You know what?
Alexa Grasso, Tatiana Suarez, Cynthia Calvillo. I mean, these are all fighters that I'll ride for.
Yes, sir. Me too. And the co-main event, Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan 2.
Yeah, you like that?
If I'm picking, I'm going Peter Yan on this one for sure.
I'm for sure going Peter Yan.
Hopefully he doesn't throw an illegal knee, man.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe
that's what stopped the last fight, man.
I know. I'm feeling like it might be an illegal eye poke or something this time.
You think
so? I truly believe that Aljamain Sterling loves the attention and he likes being champion, but he just doesn't have the quality traits that it takes.
Yeah. And you know what? Peter Yan was so dominant in the first one. It was just that one mistake that lost him the fight. So if I'm picking early, picking Peter Yan.
Yeah. But I think let me just reword what I meant to say. I just don't like the the niche that he has going. It's too Colby Covington-ish, too Conor McGregor-ish, where it's like you're cringy, bro. You're really trying to like sell somebody a dream. Like we all have the ability to rewatch the fight. You were not dominating the fight at all at any point in time. You were being dominated. It's just quit trying to sell people a dream. Like go in there and be like, hey, I'm gonna go in there and prove everybody wrong, instead of being just like, I don't know.
But we're going to find out next week. So make sure you guys check that out next Saturday. Next video should be up on Friday. So we're going to cover the entire main card, I should say. And we'll have our picks for that event. All right. So go ahead and check that next episode out. And I'll leave them with the next word.
All I got to say is we love you. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, comment. And until next time, stick with your boys.
There we go, man. We love you guys. Peace.
At the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road.